What is going down, sourdough squad? I made it. I made it to my own show. I was running a little late there. I had to push it back 10 minutes. Appreciate you sticking around because we're going to talk about a topic that has been swirling on Twitter today. If you haven't heard, shout out to our guy Jesse Naylor over there at Last Second Sports. Trent Williams tipping plays. Is it pass? Is it run? Is it an issue? We're going to show some film. We're going to review the tape against the Chargers. We're going to talk about that specific issue because it's on everyone's mind. We're going to do all that good stuff right now. You already know what to do. Drop an SDS in the chat. Smash that like button. Let's go. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. What is going down, squad? Good to see you. We're coming to you a lot later than normal, as you can see. It's 4:35 my time. We typically go live around 1:30. It's just been one of those days. Let me tell you, it's been one of those days. I'm running late. Pop open Twitter. Twitter's melting down because it's the end of the world that Trent Williams is potentially tipping picks. So we're going to talk about that whole situation. We're also just going to look at the film as well. But I also have some kind of film backups that we can look at to supplement our tipping picks conversation. Again, shout out Jesse Naylor of Last Second Sports for getting that conversation going. I mean, hey, man, whether you agree or disagree, the name of the game is content creation. And he created some content there. So he's got everyone talking about it. And of course, you guys already know I talk about the offensive line. So right there in my wheelhouse. So let's talk about it. It was brought up again by Jesse that, Trent Williams tips picks. It was also, or tips plays. It was also brought up by the rookie defensive end against the Chicago Bears week 1 that, hey, you look at Trent Williams based on his stance, you can tell if it's a run or it's a pass. Now, while I don't disagree with that, I think you can absolutely tell what he is doing based on his stance. The question becomes, though, is that a big deal? Is that an issue? Is that a problem for the 49ers offense now and moving forward? So we're going to talk about that. We've had some offensive lineman experts, former NFL offensive linemen, chime in on this topic as well. But my personal take is this. I don't think it's a big problem at all. Now, I do think two things can be true here. I do think you can tell what Trent Williams is likely going to do based on the type of stance he has. But I also think at the same time, that just doesn't matter because as often, I'll go back when I was playing offensive line. I had a really good offensive line coach. Love the guy. He made me a much better player. He always told me, he's like, I don't care if you walk up to the line of scrimmage and you tell the guy across from you what you're going to do. You got to beat him regardless. If he knows what you're going to do, if you think he knows what you're going to do, you just got to beat him. You got to win the rep. Doesn't matter. You can go up and tell him yourself, hey, I'm going to reach block you here. Try and stop me. And that's the way my offensive line coach would always preface it. Like, don't worry about that type of stuff because you got to go out and you got to execute. And if you execute, it doesn't matter if he knows what you're doing or not. Just do your job. So that's where I was coming from on this particular topic. My offensive line coach, again, he put the onus on the player. He said, you do what you need to do. Not a big deal. You win. You win your rep. That's it. Doesn't matter if they know. Go tell them what you're going to do. So, and I think that's an old school kind of O-line mentality is that they don't care Like, they care in a sense, like, they're not going to go out of their way, right, to, tip their hand if they don't have to. But at the same time, when you look at Kyle Shanahan and you look at the offense, they're not trying to hide run pass. They're really not. You can go back into multiple situations, and we'll pull up the tape as well to show it. They're not trying to hide run or pass. They're pretty blatant with it. What they're trying to do is manipulate linebackers and safeties with their positioning to actually fit where the offensive linemen are going. So it can actually work to the 49ers benefit. If you are going to key on, let's say, run right, and I'll show you multiple examples of what run right looks like, they will they will get you biting on it. This is what Kyle does. He gets you biting on it. They're like, okay, key here. They're gonna run right, run right. They counter right off the backside on two. I'll show you a sequence. 2 plays later, same formation, same splits, same stance, same everything, and it's a counter opposite side. So they take advantage of putting you out of position. They really don't care if they're going to run it, pass it, because at the end of the day, you got to win your rep. And for me, like again, say it's third and long. I'm not going to pretend it's a run play on the offensive line up front because that's just going to put them out of position. It's just going to put them in a bad spot for trying to actually block the play. And offensive linemen have two stances. You have a 2-point stance, which is where you'll see guys. I'll pull up the tape. Why not? We got the tape right in front of us. So you're going to see 2-point stances, right? So we get into the 2-point stance. I'll show a better angle. See these guys, hands on, no hands in dirt. 2-point stance. So right now, they are not concerned. The entire offensive line is not concerned whether you know if this is going to be a pass or run. They're basically telling you, hey guys, we're about to pass it. They really aren't concerned with the tipping of run or pass. They're more concerned with the relationship and how the linebackers and safeties are going to be playing this. So as you can see, all of them are in a 2-point stance. But where with the conversation like begins with Trent, see now you're going to get hands in dirt from your tackles, but it's still empty, so not going to be a run. It's a screen. There's multiple instances where you're going to see Trent Williams and the way his stance is. So let's get into this really quickly, and then we'll look at some other plays after this. So I'm going to go to 11:03. All right. So look at that stance. Look at this. You got McGlinchey hand in the dirt, rest of the offensive lineman hand in the dirt, tight end to the right side, so it's heavy to the right. You have Elijah Mitchell to the left of Jimmy Garoppolo. They're not really trying to hide that it's a run. Look at the split right here. Look at the splits. This is what they call splits, the distance in between the offensive linemen. You adjust your splits based on what you're trying to accomplish. So if you're backside, you're likely going to have a little bit of a tighter split, and if you're front side, your split's going to be larger so that you create larger spacing and larger gaps because you don't want everything to be all complex and tight, right? So you have larger splits. You see how big the split is between Kittle and McGlinchey. It's going to continue to push these guys outside. So you can see we're going to look at another rep of Williams where you're going to be able to say like, oh yeah, that's a pass play. But this is going to be the example for what a run play looks like. You can see he's kind of forward leaning. This foot isn't totally staggered back because when he's ready to pass set or getting ready to pass set, this foot is further back. And you can see it's run right. They're really not trying to hide it a whole lot. There's really no secrets going on here. The thing that helps them and what they do is Debo. Look at Debo. Look at Debo and watch the linebackers. Look at the safety. Look at the linebackers. See this Debo action? That's what they want. And by moving the linebackers over a gap, it puts them in a position to be able to double the backer. Look at Brendel Brunskill. Puts them in perfect position to create the hole and open it up. They really don't care, honestly, about the split. They don't care about the pre-snap look, things like that from an offensive lineman standpoint. You can key on it, absolutely. You can absolutely key on, like, oh, okay, alert, alert, run, 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 alert, alert. That's fine. But at the end of the day, the offensive line's ultimate goal is to beat you. So you're going to get this example here, right? Remember, pay attention. George Kittle lined up to the right side. Elijah Mitchell to the left-hand side. Look at how tight Trent Williams' split is. Forward lean, all that good stuff. See that one right there? Okay, you see that play. This is 2 plays later. 2 plays later. To try to give some, like, context, okay? So now look, it's now they're running out of from under center. But look at the split. Split with Trent Williams. He's still in that forward lean stance. Still got a tight split. Instead of Debo in motion, you now have Kyle Juszczyk to start. Goes into I. Then you're going to get what? Oh, no. That was, yep, there it is. The Debo formation or the Debo motion. So what does the Debo motion do again? Watch how it affects the linebackers and the safeties. But look at the run concept that is built off of this. Cutback. Now, it's not blocked to perfection or anything like that, but this is the manipulation that they're trying to do. And when it comes to the stance, it also works to their benefit for play action and run action. So the whole like tipping thing, I can understand it and I can see it, but ultimately, I don't think it changes anything because if you're biting on it, they're just going to use it against you. Again, watch the relationship of Debo coming across the formation, what it does to the linebackers and the safeties, and then they go backside. You see how much they sell out and how similar this looks? It's the window dressing's much different. You now are running it under center out of I. But look, it's still Debo, but now it's a backside kind of counter run. So the reason why we're kind of like talking about the tipping thing is because, okay, the counterpoint is like, okay, if we know it's a run right, and based on your alignment, we've seen this before as run right. Okay, we're going to try to stop you from allowing you to reach block me. You can actually put yourself in the leverage that the 49ers want you to be in by tipping or trying to read a tip. And that's why this offense becomes complicated to play defense against because they're trying to manipulate you. They're trying to see what you bite on. Okay, are you biting on us running? Okay, perfect. You're going to bite on us doing this. We are going to do this right off the backside. And this is a perfect example of that. All these guys are flowing. All right, we're going to go backside. So, and again, the other counter to that is play action. Okay, so remember the formation. I'm pretty sure this next formation is going to be pretty damn similar. Tight end to the right. Trent Williams kind of in that forward leaning 2-point stance. But now you're going to watch and see how that plays into play action. So this time you've got Debo and McCaffrey flanked left and right of Jimmy Garoppolo in shotgun. Debo starts in the slot, shifts in. McCaffrey's going to shift out. What's the relation? What does it do? Look, linebackers start moving. Trent Williams still in that kind of forward-leaning 2-point stance. Mike McGlinchey, hand in the dirt. George Kittle. What are they going to do? Oh, looks like run. Nope, it's not run. So I don't think, you know, Jesse is necessarily wrong in like identifying tipping or things like that, but I don't think it makes or breaks what the 49ers are doing or trying to do at the end of the day, because what they are trying to do is manipulate the safeties and the linebackers. And that is ultimately going to put them where Kyle wants them to be able to fit the blocking scheme or whatever they're trying to accomplish. And this is what you do off of it. So I just showed you 3 plays. The bones of it are very similar. Now you're gonna get different alignments, different formations, different types of motions, but offensive line, it's been the same thing. It's 5 guys with Kittle to the right. It's Trent Williams in this stance, all other 4 guys with their hands in the dirt, all 3 different plays, different responsibilities, all run, but how do you key on a run to the right, a run that's a cutback left, and then a play action basically screen. So that's why I say, as an offensive lineman, I don't think it's an issue like that. If you want to rely on that, because again, you're going to get hands in the dirt. Of course, it's going to be run. You can identify these things for sure. But I don't think at the end of the day, it makes a whole lot of a difference in regards to defenses, at least defensive linemen, and what they're trying to do because Kyle has so much window dressing on everything that he does. That's where the manipulation comes from. The manipulation comes from those types of things. So to put a bow on it, and we'll get into some other tapes, other plays and things like that. I don't believe that it's an issue. However, I do believe there are instances where you can see that Trent Williams might be in more of a run heavy 2 point stance opposed to a pass heavy 2 point stance. For example, this foot might be a little bit more underneath him opposed to being behind him. So, like, look at this stance right here and the play before, which was a pass where it's more staggered. So, those are the types of things when you look at tipping, you can look at it and you can say, "Yeah, I see that." But ultimately, I don't think it has an effect really one way or the other. Um, because it either plays into what Kyle wants to do or whatever. And one of the arguments that I had heard was, well, it's not about Trent, right? It's about the offense. It's the other 5 guys on the offensive line. Same thing applies. I really don't believe that excuse me, it has much of an effect on anything. Um, again, you might be able to call it out, key, potential run, potential pass, but still, you still get the play action here. And I don't have other plays, but there are plays that they ran where it's a run play and Trent is doing backside pass protection type kind of, it's like a wall off technique, but it looks like a pass blocking set on a run play. So that's where I'm at with it. Um, and again, shout out Jesse. He got all us talking about it. Um, that's the definition of content creation. And you got Twitter talking about it. Uh, this is the end all be all is definitely not Twitter and what they think. When it comes to offensive line play, man, it is a slippery slope on Twitter. Uh, but I try my best to provide context as much as I can. And today we got something to talk about. So that's where I sit on it. That's where I sit on. Are you guys? Let me ask you guys. Do you guys see any issues maybe from this or whatever? Like from Trent potentially having a different stance in run game versus pass. All right, so far, no, 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 no. So I get it. I can understand why it might come across that way, but ultimately, I don't think it matters a whole lot. Really don't. Chili says, off topic, but if Kyler doesn't play, is this win a given or a trap game? Also, join the Discord. If Brad wants to do a voice chat, we'll try it out. I definitely got to mess around with that. But in regards to your question, Chili, also join the Discord. Uh, we got to get Chili dropping Discord links in here. But in regards to the trap game, if Kyler doesn't play, listen, I'm old enough to remember what the Cardinals did to the 49ers week 9 with Colt McCoy. So, and it's a division game. It's in a neutral site. I'm not going to and also we know what the San Francisco 49ers are this year. I don't think we can confidently say any game really is going to be a definite win. It's a should win. It's a gotta have it win. Is it a guaranteed win? Absolutely not. I don't think so. I don't think that that will work um, for that. So, good question though. Colt McCoy did give it to us, so I'm not going to call it a guaranteed win, even if it is Colt McCoy, because we've seen some things before. All right, let's get into some other tape. I think we spent enough time on the Trent Williams stuff. Let's just look at. This is a low key kind of review today. I don't got any like crazy things from this game. I think one of my biggest takeaways from this is it just it wasn't their best game offensively, and I know you guys know that from the first half. They had opportunities. I think they really started to pick it up. Elijah Mitchell also too in the second half looked pretty damn good. Um, so I'm looking forward to it. But I think this one we get a little. This was the first play of the game. We have good old Spencer Burford with a nice pancake with the help of a cutback from Christian McCaffrey, but he really planted number 93 on the turf. Those are good things. We like that. That was fun. I think the second play too was Brendel with the little airplane mode. This was fun. The first two, oh no, it wasn't that play. What is this play? It's a nice little run from Christian McCaffrey. So it's one of those kind of I don't think this is quite the Zorro concept, but it is a kind of backside run. I like what they kind of do with McGlinchey here. It's set up to look like a down block, but then he down blocks and then pops back out to kind of wall off the linebacker. So again, misdirection, trying to think it's going one way, and they come back on the backside. Let's see. 22:54. Oh, Brandon Aiyuk had a nice game. Oh, I like this rep from Trent Williams on Khalil Mack. Uh, really, after this, you didn't see a whole lot of Khalil Mack on Trent Williams. I mean, they definitely played him on both sides throughout the game. But this was a nice start to the matchup. Again, I don't they call this like the long arm. It's basically a leverage play for the defensive ends where they try to really get that hand in the chest and just use their leverage to push back. But you can't really do that on Trent because he's so keyed on it that if you're going to do that, he understands if I push down on your shoulder or your arm at all, you are likely going to fall off balance and I'm going to get you on the turf. Um, but again, watching those two go at it, it's pretty good. Overall, offensive line wise, Banks was good. He wasn't great. I don't think it was his best game, but it wasn't his worst game either. Brendel, I think, again, continues to be a serviceable center. I don't think there's any issues. I mean, he's not going to there's going to be a time or two he gets overpowered and gets pushed out of the way, and they're going to get a tackle on the running back or something like that. But for the most part, he's good and pretty solid in pass protection. Does his job. Really isn't out of position a whole lot and gets the job done. Burford and Banks, or not Burford and Banks, Burford and Brunskill are still rotating. Uh, both are still playing decent as well. Ooh, I like that. Get him on the ground. And of course, our favorite, Mike McGlinchey, our favorite topic. Um, I thought he played okay. I thought he had a decent game. Uh, I think there's so far like just two really, or there's the McGlinchey bull rush on Mac that really wasn't that bad. Um, he still ultimately made the block. It disrupted the play, but it didn't turn into a sack. And Khalil Mack's one of the best defenders, edge rushers in the NFL. So what is it? It was 25. It was the next one, I think. Yes. So I'll show you this one from Mike. This was the one I think a lot of people were upset about this one. I guess. I think this was the only time he gave up like almost a sack, but he didn't. Um, technique wise, the technique's not bad, but I don't think his hips were in position and ready for the speed to power. And so it kind of caught him off guard. He was able to kind of catch himself. He stopped him, killed the play, wasn't able to really succeed past that, but didn't give him a sack. I've seen Trent Williams do that. But of course, it's Mike, so gets a lot of heat for that. Um, I think that was the worst play from Mike McGlinchey on the day. And just because I love chaos, I'm gonna show a good Mike McGlinchey play. I'm a big fan of Mike McGlinchey chaos. Oh, that was a good rep, but that's not even the play I was looking for. Good rep here from Mike. See his hips and the bend. It's just much better positioning to be able. He finds himself in bad spots when his technique is off and he finds his positioning off. When he's ready to go, he does a good job. Uh, but I want some more chaos, so I'm gonna show one more. Where is it? And then we'll get to the other stuff. uh, we started with the Mike Bull Rush. Where's the? There it is. So I think it's this one. Wide 9. I like this view because you can see Mike McGlinchey get Khalil Mack on the ground. No one's gonna show this clip. No one's gonna tweet that out. Guarantee you. No one's gonna show that because that doesn't fit the narrative. But hey, it's not bad. Like when the kick step, the feet, look at how he is able to just kind of slowly open the gate, be in position, hands. Again, he's not perfect. He's not the number one offensive lineman in the world. He's not gonna break the bank and get a top paid offensive line contract, but it's just how people perceive him after being a top 10 draft pick, which I understand. Um, yeah, I saw Shannon Sharp going in on Mike. Hey, I get it. Listen, I get it. It's a topic at this point, and all that type of stuff. Chili says I need a moderator post links. All right, I got you. I got you, Chili. Be patient. Be patient. Let's see. But again, it is what it is. Oh, I really like this play from Elijah Mitchell. It was really nice having Elijah Mitchell back. He is so good after contact. He is just really good at keeping his feet moving, and sidestepping things and finding creases. Uh, it's really nice. It's good to have him back. I think he had a better day on the ground than Christian McCaffrey. Um, just has a really good knack for finding the open lanes. There's this one play. Let's see, where is it? I think is it like over here? Oh, Jawan had a nice day. He really picked it up in the second half too. Um, Again, Elijah Mitchell is just he knifes through, lowers his shoulder, and he creates additional yardage after contact. That's what he really made a name for himself last year with that as a rookie. But again, you could see he's not easy to get down. He lowers his shoulder, those feet keep moving, he keeps churning. He turns like a potential 2-3 yard gain into a solid almost 10-yard run. So really not bad. Not bad at all. More Elijah. He started to like get warmed up too in the second half. I like this one from Elijah. Like, take a look at it because he does what he's supposed to do in relation to the offensive line. Because for running backs, when you're running behind a pulling guard, you're going to get Brunskill pulling to the left here. You got to read the block. You got to read if it's a kick out or if he's going to roll it. So this is a relationship that's based on the defensive end, or whoever's getting uh, kicked out. Essentially, it affects what the guard does. So, if let's say the defensive end here rushes upfield, Brunskill's going to get his head on the inside shoulder and kick him out and try to push him towards the sideline. But if you get the defensive end squeezing down the line of scrimmage, you got to roll the block. So you got to get your head on the outside shoulder like that, and then you roll your hips around. So the running back, he has to read that, and that determines where he goes. Because, like, as you can see here, even though it looks like there's going to be a crease here, if he runs straight, he could potentially run into that defensive tackle. And just look at how that little maneuvering, because I mean, you could make the case like, oh, cut it up like off Banks' hip through that gap. But I also do appreciate Elijah reading his block the way, reading it as it should be read, and then making the adjustment and still getting the yards. Uh, it's pretty nice. Good block by Croft. Brunskill does a good job rolling it. He gets pushed back a little bit. You could do a little bit better on that block, probably from Brunny. But you get Trent Williams crashing down. You get Banks crashing down. And Elijah does the rest. It's good having Elijah back, man. Let's see. So what other play do we want? Let's watch Juwan on skates, shall we? I really liked what Juwan was doing late. Where was? Wait, is this it? It's one of them. I think that next one is the skate play. Juwan was cooking there at the end. 3rd and Juwan. Woo! Look at that guy. Love it. Ooh. Ooh. Look at Juwan. Cooking. I love it, man. Hey, what's good, Andy? Let's see. Is this another good Elijah run? It's just tough, man. It's hard to bring down. Oh, and we got Aiyuk redemption. Let's show the first Aiyuk one. Because although he dropped it, he cooked the cornerback. What was it? 2302. All right, so you're gonna get Brandon Aiyuk at the top of the screen. Oh, I mean, this thing's nasty. It's like he breaks it down to, I don't know if it was gonna be like it's like a little like a hook route or whatever the hell they call it. But he chops it down, pretends like he's cutting inside, stems back out, then cuts it back again. He's like out here playing hopscotch with the cornerback. Oh my god, he cooked him. He did not know what to do. He had his hips all look at those hips, man. Look at who is that, by the way? Is that Asante Samuel Jr.? I don't think you get a good angle here, but he had him cooked. I mean, as a wide receiver, when it comes to route manipulation, if you can get the cornerback in this type of position where his hips are facing the opposite direction where you want to go, that's a good spot to be in. Oh, I don't have any problems with the throw. I think the throw is fine. Jimmy does a good job of stepping up into the pocket. Looks like he's his first read looks to be Kittle. They, of course, bracket Kittle, which is par for the course, but he does a great job of coming off of Kittle. It looks like he goes to Debo, I think, but you still have that kind of relationship with the bracketed linebacker who could come and peel off and maybe obstruct the pass to Debo. And then you're going to get bracketed Jawan. They bracket Jawan and they leave Aiyuk one on one, and Aiyuk cooks him. Oh, cooks him again. No problems with the throw. I think Jimmy did a really good job there, working through the progression, finding the one on one. I know Ayuk posted this to his Instagram story, and wasn't too happy with himself. He knew he left one on the field right there. But that would have been nice, man. That would have been nice. We got CMC blocking for Debo out here. I thought this was a pretty cool play. I know we've talked a lot about this type of formation when we wanted to see, Debo Samuel and CMC on the field at the same time. It's here. So Debo starts outside of Kittle. It's kind of like a bunch, almost like a bunch, but you got two tight ends. Then they motion him into the backfield, and then Christian McCaffrey becomes the lead blocker, and Debo Samuel runs it. Now, did it really translate into a big gain? Because I'll show you in a second why I believe that is. But look at CMC, man. What a legend. We think of CMC as this explosive, athlete with the ball in his hands. Look at him as a blocker. Nice. And if you're going to look closely, I think it was blocked up pretty damn close to be a pretty big gain. Um, let's see, what's Kittle doing? Kittle does a good job working his assignment, but you can see right here, 95 is going to get a hold on Brendel. So he's going to hold Brendel here. See that right there on the chest plate. So Brendel's trying to throw a hand to allow Aaron Banks to take over this block. You can see right there. This is basically kind of an outside, it looks like an outside zone concept with like Croft is almost like the fullback with where he's lined up. It's just a crazy formation and how they ran it, but it essentially looks like an outside zone. So Brandel's going to want to get to backer here, but 95, this is defensive holding. I think this is worth a penalty. You can see the outstretched hand, and it doesn't allow Brendel to stay on his track and get to 9. And then 9's able to knife through and get it. But the cutback was there. Like if 9 wasn't there and Brendel was able to wall this off with that CMC block, Debo potentially could have busted this for a huge gain. But I thought that was pretty nice. It's good to see. Good to see CMC blocking out there. Again, if you can block, got a key to my heart. So I like CMC a whole bunch. You get him out here blocking too. Love it. We'll do some CMC runs here. Kyle Juszczyk obliterating the defensive tackle. Bang. Oh no, that's not. That's Mitchell. Excuse me. It's not CMC. Hey, you'd be a brave one at this point with the way people are just, man, it's crazy. Uh, but gotta get me a McGlinchey jersey so haters can hate. That would be funny, man. Is the chat going off the rails? I haven't really been watching the chat, but I'm peeping it now. Looks like the chat going off the rails? Oh, we got Cooper Cup in here. That's why. Got it. Come on, Brad. Even Sharp said 69 is the weak link. I don't know. What are we talking about? I don't think McGlinchey's as bad as everyone makes it out to be. The tape would back that up. He has his moments. He puts himself in a bad spot at times. Um, but I don't think he's the reason why the offense isn't working or the offenses can be sluggish at times or things like that. He has his moments for sure. Everyone sees those moments, but I don't think it it just there's so much build up into how he plays or what he does. It's just interesting. Shout out to all you guys showing love in the chat. That's nice. I'm used to getting yelled at, so I appreciate you guys. I really like this throw from Jimmy too. Jimmy was cooking. Wasn't again, he's not just like Jimmy, he's not going to be perfect. Trent isn't perfect. Banks isn't perfect. You go across the list. CMC isn't perfect. That's the beauty of football. But I like this. Jimmy loves throwing in this route to I think it was the Falcons game. He threw almost this identical route and anticipatory throw, almost identical to Jawan Jennings. He did it earlier in the season, and I'm not talking about this year's Falcons game, last year's Falcons game. And I think he did one another time as well. It's a good throw. Juwan had a great day. Aiyuk had a great day outside the fumble and dropped, which those are big plays. But he still had a day. I would love to see Kittle get involved more. I know it often depends on coverage, and the coverage dictates, who's going to get the ball. But man, Kittle's too good to not get the ball more. I would love to see more creative ways. Uh, all right, I'm gonna put it to a vote. I'm gonna put it to a vote. Or we got mods in here. I'm gonna let the mods. I'm gonna let the mods handle it. If you guys think he should be kicked, go ahead. You have my blessing. Oh, here's the Jimmy throw. This was the best throw from Jimmy of the day. Again, he gets some flack for being a statue at times, but this is again a really good job working through his reads. shuffling, and hitting Ray Ray down the sideline. Not bad. Not bad. So we talked about it yesterday. When it comes to the perceived offensive struggles, so far when we look at the Rams game, the Chargers game, of course, Jimmy had his moments against the Chiefs. Jimmy played well against the Falcons, played well against the Panthers. Rams week 4 didn't have a good game against the Broncos, but I think they are capable enough of being better with what they have. Um, and I just think hopefully with a little bit more time that they can get it, figured out because they're still moving the ball. They're still producing. But I think there's another level that they can produce at. I think there's like another notch, like they can kick it into one more gear. Um, I think there's a rhythm that's still they're kind of work through as well. But once they find it, I mean, with all these pieces, the way they use the way they use Juice, the way they use Kittle, and things like that, they're going to have opportunities to, I think, be a pretty damn successful team. But it's stringing consecutive plays together. Oh, I love this. Is one of my favorite plays of CMC on the day. It was like a 2-yard gain, but it just kind of like showcases his ability and the way he's able to read and react and do different types of things like in a phone booth. Like if you're watching this, so look at the defensive tackle inside shade on Brunskill. Brunskill's going to try to get his head across. Looks again, it's that kind of concept where they have it's like a zone. It's almost like a flat zone footwork up front for the O line, but they bring Kyle Juszczyk across the formation to block, which kind of opens up 2 areas. They can run to the left or cut it back to the right. But the defensive tackle on Brunskill does a good job of getting his run fit, shedding Brunskill, but better job by McCaffrey to like freaking levitate and spin out of that. Like that's just freaking crazy. Like in real time to be able to just move and react like that. Sheesh. He's good, man. Uh do I think Jimmy overthrows those screens to Debo? I think Jimmy's hit or miss when throwing to the flat. And that's kind of been his MO since I feel like since he's been a 49er, like he can do it, but there are times where he'll either throw high, throw low, throw behind, throw too far in front. Something with those passes in the flat. He's still, I think, a little bit inconsistent with, but not bad. What was this one? 642. We're just kind of cruising at this point. Um, oh, I really like this play. I thought this play. So I don't know. This would be a play that I'd love to be like a fly on the wall in the meeting room to like discuss like how it should have been blocked up or like what the like Kyle would want from this because based on because when you look at you start from McGlinchey, Burford, Brendel, and Banks. They do a great job of down blocking. So they collapse this side. It allows Banks to pull, kick out 49. Mack is already out of the play. Great pull by Banks, by the way. Really is able to dig Tranquil out of there. It allows Trent Williams to peel up the hole. This is where I have my questions. Like, if I could ask Kyle or whoever, like, about the relation between Kittle, Trent, 43 and 3, because it feels like if Kittle stemmed up and then leverage blocked 43, and then Trent just pulls up and it's one-on-one in the hole with Derwin James. Derwin goes at his legs, goes left or goes right, and then Debo makes his read off that. That feels like it would be a walk-in touchdown. But I don't know if they're trying to get the leverage where Kittle's pushing Derwin kind of across the field, because you look at Trent, he's like going to hit Derwin, but he sees Kittle and then he bails to 43. I just wonder if you switched that responsibility and this turns into kind of like a wall off from Kittle, and then it's mano Trent Williams versus Derwin James. I imagine Trent Williams would absolutely obliterate Derwin James in this scenario. I would just I would love to be a fly on the wall to hear the coaching points on that, because I feel like it was blocked. It was a well-designed play. You get the CMC motion. Again, it pulls uh, the defensive end and the linebacker almost out of the play. Mike McGlinchey does a good job of kind of getting to 9. Just curious. Or if Debo kind of gears it down and cuts with Trent and away from George, so it'd be interesting. Because you can see Debo cuts away from Trent and he doesn't follow Trent. But it's also just a bang bang reaction, so curious. Other than that, it was a well blocked play for the most part, well designed. But it's just a weird, like if Kittle was able to get his head across and see how his head on the backside, if his head was on the front side, I think Kittle drives that guy out of there. And maybe you get a little help from Debo, who cuts inside. He cuts to the outside. Maybe we're having a different conversation. Just curious what that coaching point would be. This next play, I'm not gonna lie, I think it's this play. Yeah, I didn't love this play. I really didn't. You've got 4 down defensive linemen. I mean, they are in every gap on the interior. You've got 3 wide receivers on the field. Of course, you got George, and you're running at a shotgun. No fullback. Looks like just kind of like a zone. It's like a mid zone. I didn't love this play. I felt like if there was an alert to something else, that would have been the time to call it. But I feel like when you see these 4 down linemen in every single interior gap, I know they're not showing 2 linebackers. You got Mack to the outside. I didn't. Again, another opportunity to be on the fly on the wall. What the coaching point is, like, Do you check out of that? I don't know. Like, you see this relation, like, this alignment when you're trying to run zone, like, zone is really predicated off being able to double to backer, and if you can't get to backer because, again, all these guys are occupied, who's gonna peel off and get the linebacker? Didn't even need to get to that point. 93 was able to fit the run, make the play. So, again, would be interesting. Let's see, what other good stuff was there? Ooh, blitz pickup. Blitz pickup from McCaffrey? Look at this. It's hard not to like McCaffrey, but when you can pick up the blitz like that, look at that. Come on, man. Shout out McCaffrey, dog. Look at that. Woo! I'll take that every day of the week. Every day of the week. Look at McCaffrey. When you hear people say as running backs, or when they're talking about running backs, like, you're not going to get on the field as a running back if you aren't capable in blitz pickup. Like, this is what we talk about, blitz pickup right here. This is it. Um, you go inside out and does a phenomenal job of really just stymieing this linebacker and then gaining leverage and pushing him out of the pocket. It's really damn good job by Christian McCaffrey, man. Um, Again, we look at him as the explosive receiver runner, but he had multiple good blocks in this game. Multiple good blocks. And, great scheme, for the Chargers to kinda put Brunskill in conflict. And if McCaffrey wasn't there, probably would have been a sack, but McCaffrey does a good job. Oh, weird. Is that Mike McGlinchey blocking Khalil Mack? Huh. Didn't see that. No one saw that. No one saw that. What other stuff haven't we shown? I think we showed a good majority of. We got Debo, we got Kittle, we got Jawan, we got some good throws by Jimmy, we got CMC running and blocking. We got Aiyuk. Did we show Aiyuk redemption? Oh, I don't think we did Aiyuk redemption. We'll end it with Aiyuk redemption. So this was the play that led to the last scoring touchdown. Who's Geno? Geno Smith? No, I don't like Geno Smith. Geno Smith plays for the enemy. Geno in the chat? I don't know. Is he gotta let the mods handle it. But Aiyuk redemption almost scored on it. Almost scored. Shout out Banks. You're gonna get a Derwin James. So you're gonna get Derwin James, Drew Tranquil kind of stunt. You're gonna get Brunskill blocking 2. What a legend. Look at Brunskill, man. He gets hands on Murray. You're gonna see that. I think that's Nasir Adderley. I think that the safety that they bring on a blitz. Brunskill picks up 9. Again, you got to pick up interior pressure. That's the number one rule of offensive linemen. You got to pick up the interior pressure. The closest path to the quarterback is on the interior. So Brunskill gets hands on nines, come off, picks up Nasir. What a good job, man. Good job by Trent Williams, Aaron Banks, picking up the kind of delayed stunt blitz thing they got going on over there. Oh, look, is that Mike McGlinchey blocking Khalil Mack? Nope, you didn't see anything. That's not a real thing. It's a figment of your imagination. And ooh, little bit behind Aiyuk. Ooh, ooh, what a snag, man. Ball's definitely a little behind. And I think Jimmy definitely senses that he's got two coming right at him and they don't have enough blockers to pick it up. But he still gets it out. Aiyuk makes hell of a catch. Almost gets it in for a touchdown. And then they're going to be able to get it to CMC. And this was really the touchdown that decided the game for the 49ers. I think it put the 49ers up because the 49ers were playing from behind for a big portion of that game. Big portion of that game, but they were able to bring it back. Get it in there. Look at that. All the boys hyped. Touchdown. And then after that, we let the defense cook after that. Yeah, 19-16. Oh, don't tell people that McGlinchey was a big part of that touchdown either. Don't tell people that. They won't like it. Nice. So, not bad. Wasn't the best. Wasn't the worst. To be perfectly honest, you know, there's definitely a lot of things that you can take away that are great. Oh, we didn't show this run. I got to show this. We'll end it on Elijah. We'll end it on Elijah because this was good. Yeah. Whew. Love Elijah, man. Oh, we've got YouTube legend Johnny Dell in the chat. Make sure you sub to my guy. I don't know if he's dropped his weekly film breakdown yet, but if you aren't watching those, you are missing out. If you like my film breakdowns, not even close in comparison to what Johnny puts out there. So definitely sub to his channel if you haven't already. You'll be a smarter fan, I promise you. Promise you. That's one thing too. Oh, it's exporting now. Let's go. Put those post notifications on. I'm telling you. You won't want to miss it. Oh, look at that. It's like butter. It's like a hot knife through butter. The timing, he's just like a tunnel. Look at Banks. Look at that. Good job, Banks. Hold your ground, Banks. You're going to get Burford pulling. Great job, Burford. You're going to get Kittle right behind him. Burford, bang. Kittle, bang. You're going to get Croft and Williams blocking down. Shout out Croft for peeling off to get 9. Bang, bang, bang. Whoo! That's shuckshy. You're even going to get Aiyuk blocking out there. Look, you got Devo blocking out there. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Like butter. Oh. Elijah Mitchell and CMC are going to be fun, man. They're going to be fun, I promise you. The 49ers, again, and I'm curious to watch Johnny's breakdown of the offense as well, because he does a really phenomenal job of really tying all the concepts together. What he thinks, but you're gonna have to watch uh his video, which is exporting now. Um, I'm definitely gonna tap in for that because I do think the 49ers aren't there yet. I think they have all the tools. I think the pieces are there. I think the offensive line, again, for all the people that bitch and complain about it, it's good enough. It's good enough to get the job done. They got the pieces, they got the weapons, they've got the play calling. Jimmy's good enough. Now we just got to see it go to that next level. Yes. Right? I agree. I agree. And I felt like it was like that at the beginning of last year too. I felt like when we were watching that like week 1 through 10, like week 1 through 9 last year, it was like there were plays to be made, but they were so close and they just didn't get it done. But once they started to make those minuscule adjustments, whatever they may be, things really started to flow in the right direction. So that's what I'm hoping for as this team continues to move forward. Again, it's not perfect. It's not all the way there, but they're close. They're definitely close. So yeah, we'll end it on that one. I thought that was a good play. And don't think the offensive line is the main problem here. None of that. None of that. I'm sure Chili wants me to drop the Discord link. I got to keep that thing on me, man. I really got to figure out a way to have that Discord link locked and loaded in the side pocket so Chili doesn't come down my neck. He's like, "Post the link." I think this is it. I hope it works. He'll tell me if it's not. So I just dropped the Discord link. I think that's it. Hopefully it works. He'll tell me if it doesn't. Again, Chili's putting in great work over there at Discord, so got to give him credit. Beautiful, it works. Let's go. Shout out to all you guys as always for tapping in. Appreciate the good energy. The real film breakdown comes out in a little while. We've already talked about that. But for the most part, shout out Jason Aponte, Andrew Pasquini, the Sprint Ride Option podcast going to be on the 49er Supporters Club. You love to see it, man. You love to see it. All the homies winning out here. It's great. Love it. I'm over here tweeting. I just saw it come across my Twitter, and I'm making sure that I tweet about it midstream. All right, tweet. Let's go. There was some news today. Nothing crazy. 49ers made some roster moves. Kurt Benkert released. Jacob Eason signed. They also added Daz Newsome. I liked him coming out of Carolina, of North Carolina. Little slot god. I don't mind that pickup at all. So good stuff. But I appreciate you guys as always. Sourdough best. Sourdough best. Sourdough Squad is the best. Always. undefeated. Appreciate you guys. Smash that like button on your way out of here. Y'all have a great rest of your night. Sorry for the tardiness today. But we'll be back for more content. Oh, tomorrow's Wednesday. State of the franchise. Stay tuned. Let's go. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to